Howdy, team. Welcome to today's video lectures about arrays. Arrays are sort of magical when you use them for the first time, and I'm excited for you to use them for the first time today. So first, like always, we're going to talk about why arrays are necessary. Let's talk about the types of problems that are that require the wonder of an array. Okay, so let's talk about this problem. Let's say the we want to ask a user for a certain number of days of temperatures, and then we want to provide them some statistics on that. So we want to accept some temperatures from the user. We want to provide them with the average temp, and then we want to say how many days were above average. This looks pretty straightforward, especially from the user's point of view. It's only a couple of lines of output. It looks like everything is pretty standard and straightforward. But this program is actually really hard to write. Let's talk about why it would be hard. So each input value that we get from the user, let's go back here. So the input values we're talking about here are like 45, 44, 39, those things. And we need to use each of those values 2 times. We need to use it here when we're calculating the average temperature, but we also need to use it to keep track of how many of those days were above the average. So we can't calculate that until we know what the average is. So we need to keep track of all of these inputs that the user has provided. We could read each value into a variable. I mean, obviously, if we need to use it again, that's what we'll have to do. But we don't know how many days are needed until the program runs. If you see, we have the user enter how many days they want, and that makes it complicated. So we don't know how many variables we need to declare. We don't know how many times we need to ask the user. You're probably thinking, well, this could be easily done in a loop, but it can't be done in a loop given the tools that we have right now, because we need to keep each variable separate, which means we need to ask for it separately, and things are starting to get complicated. We need a way to declare many variables in one step. I want to show you. I have programmed this problem using only the tools that we have so far. So let me walk you through this program. First, as always, I open a scanner so that I can get the user input. I'm going to prompt the user here. I'm going to keep track of the days. This is when they'll input the days. I'm going to initialize the variables. So we set it from, I created variables up to 15 days. Let's hope they don't ask for any more than that. Fingers crossed. I'm going to keep track of a running total of temperatures, so I can at least skip that step. I'm calculating the total as we go, as the user enters each variable. But I think that's the only shortcut I'm going to be able to take. So then I need to get the temperatures from the user. So we can say if days is greater than equal to 1, so if we want to ask them for another day, or for the first day in this case, we're going to say, okay, what is the high temp today? And then we're going to request the next double. We're going to save it into day 1 temperature, which is initialized up there. And then we need to add that value to the total. And then we do that for day 2 and day 3 and day 4 and day 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and on and on and on until day 15. And if there's more than 15 days, we're just not going to ask the user for them because our program can't handle that. And frankly, I got bored when writing this, so I didn't go more than 15. So anyway, we ask them 15 times for the temperatures, and then we can finally calculate the average. But remember, once we have the average, we also need to determine how many days are above average. So now we need to go back to every one of the temperatures that we have already seen and increment how many days above average we have seen. So if the first temperature is above average, we increment. If the second temperature is above average, we increment, and on and on and on 15 times. Are you getting as annoyed with this program as I am? Because I'm pretty annoyed. All right, great. After day 15, again, let's hope they didn't ask for more than 15 because these calculations would be totally off. Then we print out the average temperature to the user. We also print out how many days above average. And then finally, we close that scanner. Great. So I would like to give you a challenge here. There's a lot of code written here, and there's a bug included somewhere in it. I challenge you to find that bug. The bug is not included in, it's not just like we don't know if they enter more than 15 days. That would be inconsistent behavior for sure. But there is a different bug. I'm going to scroll through so you can see all of the code and see if you can find anything wrong. Why would this not behave the way you would expect it to? Keep scrolling. It's going to take a while because this code is really long. Keep going. Keep going. You found it yet? Has it shown up yet? All right. I don't know. Hope you found it. Cool. Okay, in the next video, I am going to show you how Arrays, this wonderful new computing tool, how that is going to help us save the day for this program and programs like it. So thanks, team, and I will see you in the next video.